Okay, hot take. I think history is going to view Biden as the beloved president after his one term.
Do people say the same?
One term?
No, I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
he said he's only going to serve one term.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's only going to be a one-term president. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably going to fucking die in like 2 years, anyways.
Yeah.
I think Biden has the possibility of being the most popular president, but at the same time, the least popular.
I mean,
like,
Nah, Biden's gonna be God. Everyone's gonna be like, hey,
Oh, what the fuck?
you know what? I want Biden 2020, Biden 2024, Biden 2028, Biden 2032. We're gonna go on forever, all right? I never want Biden to leave office, even when he's like dead.
Biden has the
Biden's gonna
possibility of being an LBJ figure, which is you were very popular in the beginning, but really went down at the end.
Dude, I just think that people are gonna remember his like personal characteristics and his story rather than the policies or like legislation he gets passed.
So
And it's like-
so there's a couple of things that could happen here. Okay, the Republican Party could obstruct Joe Biden and then get completely demolished at the midterms. Okay, or they could try and work with Joe Biden. All right, so they don't fucking suffer that much electorally. I expect the Republicans to be politically savvy, all right? I don't see why it would make sense for them to completely fuck their party out of any electoral chances if that meant just obstructing bills. So it seems like they would try and preserve their party. If that means like trying to compromise on some stuff, I imagine it would entail that. But maybe I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe I just...
That's one thing I fear is that like it's hard to compromise like with the Republicans on a center like maybe a center right policy or something. But at the same time, there are now more than ever like left-leaning Congress people, and having to like compromise with them at the same time, it just makes it harder to like get that done.
Well, we'll see then.
Like I find it hard to say like, oh, we're gonna get healthcare reform in this country. Well, like there are like actual self-proclaimed socialists in Congress, like I think 10 now currently. And
I
at
don't
the
think
same time,
progressives would
compromise with the
vote.
Republicans. It just seems hard to look at.
I just don't believe that like progressive Dems are gonna vote no on a Biden healthcare bill. I just don't think that's gonna happen. They would get they would get fucked by their constituents if they even tried doing that.
That wouldn't make any fucking sense if they did that.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean like
you'd have to be an ML to think that would be smart.
They would drag their feet a lot on it. Like,
have y'all seen everyone hating on that Ossoff guy or whatever his name is? Ossoff, whatever.
Why are they hating on him?
He's like a moderate Dem.
And everyone's like, why is he running as a Republican? And it's like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah, it's like he did like a speedrun interview with some like interview lady, and then she asked him, she was like, do you want to defund the police? No. Do you want to pack the courts? Maybe. Do you?
Well, he said no on pack the courts. He said maybe on the filibuster, but everything else he said like no.
Oh, okay. You want to pack the courts? No. Do you support AOC's Green New Deal? No. And then like people were saying, why is he running as a Republican, bruh?
Yeah, because
like he's literally like the majority of the Democratic Party.
And he's running in Georgia. Like, what the fuck do you expect?
I was surprised he said maybe to ending the filibuster.
Honestly. Actually, I really like that answer. The way he answered it, where he was like, maybe, because it's more than just a yes or no thing. Like, I have to think about, like, how this is going to affect further down the line. And, like, I don't know, that, like, answer just made me go, okay, this guy at least has, like, kind of a good head on his shoulders. Like, even if he's more, like, moderate than what I usually prefer, like, at least he seems, like, intelligent enough to, like, you know, think out what he's supporting instead of, like, supporting, like, random shit in order to like get votes, you know. Like I feel like a lot of policies like the Green New Deal and Medicare for All, a lot of people who run on those are just using them to get kind of like brownie points instead of actually like really knowing what that entails and like why they support it.
True.
So just that answer was like, I don't know, I just like really like that answer, and I was like, this guy seems cool. So I've been like looking at his stuff, and I don't know. I thought it was crazy that lefties were mad. I mean, he's running in fucking Georgia. Like, what do you expect? Like, a fucking socialist running in Georgia? Okay.
Yeah, they should, you know, to advance the revolution.
Florida with Andrew Gillum. I think like Andrew Gillum was a DSA member, and he almost got elected. He like lost by like 2 points.
Yeah, I just think like
it's a possibility.
It's possible. It just isn't like likely. If you're trying to secure the seat and like start moving the country left, like you kind of have to be a little bit more moderate. Like I think that's just being realistic. I think like going up there and being like, oh, I'm gonna end the fucking capital form, commodity production's gonna be gone, yada yada. You're definitely not gonna get any votes.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you look at say moderates like Amy McGrath against Mitch McConnell, who lost badly, like really.
Are you trying to say that you would think that a progressive would do better than a moderate?
I think like in instances like that where there's very little difference, yes.
I totally disagree.
Like I fully do believe like Amy McGrath lost purely because
I know everyone's been pointing at that stupid fucking graph about how like progressives won and then like Dems who did like whoever like supported Medicare for all won and people who didn't win, but like that's so like survivor bias. It's not even fucking funny. Like it's literally not looking at the context of why those people didn't win, other than looking at one like thing that was different and going, oh, this must be it. And it's like, why would that be the one thing? Like you had to explain that to me.
I mean, like I think they're just like, it's not even about them being dumb. It's about them like being purposely like misleading. Like I really doubt that nobody in the entire Justice Dems were like thinking, do you think it's a possibility that perhaps more candidates in safer Dem districts are more likely to support more progressive healthcare policies and therefore win Democratic primaries? I doubt that they didn't like think of that. They're just fucking disingenuous as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been so tired of seeing the shit of the outcome of all the elections recently and like the lefty takes that like I was getting really doomer for a bit. I was like, I don't even want to talk about politics anymore because everything I'm seeing people say just seems so incorrect. Like even if you're gonna be far left and you're gonna support like far left things, like you can at least be realistic about like where we are currently and like not make up stuff like that. Like you can be reasonable enough to be like, okay, this is where our country is at. You don't have to lie and be like, actually our country is way more progressive, you just don't know about it because we're not running the right people, which just isn't the case.
I mean, it's hard to like, I don't know, like looking at Florida and seeing like them passing a $15 minimum wage, but at the same time like voting in like far right candidate, like a far right candidate, not far right candidate, but like a more
okay. Well, let me see. Ask most people if they'd like their wages higher, no matter what their political affiliation is. What do you think they're gonna say?
They're probably gonna say yes.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Okay, then like that should be like that can apply the same thing with healthcare. Like, hey, do you want to pay less for healthcare? Like, okay, then vote for Medicare for all.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily proof like to those people. Like it's not as obvious that that's going to be like cheaper as something like, hey, I'm literally going to raise your wage to $15 an hour.
I mean, if you like message it right, like gave Medicare for all, like simply say, hey, do you want your
terrible stream, Radlib? The market sets wages to match marginal. I don't care what you have to say, Malthy. You're stupid. Get out of here.
Well, that's one thing I feel like some candidates who like complain that they almost lost because they were being
the market sets wages to match marginally. The fuck you talking about, Malthy? Shut the fuck up.
Call me a rad lib. Get out of here. Get out of here,
fuck up, bro. You don't even know wage theory. Fucking wage.
You know, like at the same time, like saying like, all these people won their elections because they support Medicare for all, but at the same time, there are people on the other side saying like, oh, we lost seats because we were being too progressive. Oh, we almost lost our seat because we were being accused of being socialist. Like,
I mean, like, that's what Clyburn said.
I don't actually like agree that like either moderate Dems were the problem or progressives were the problem per se. I mean, it really just depends on where they were like running. So it's hard to be like, oh, these are the reasons why, or these are the reasons why. It's more like I don't know, not to be a nuanced bro, but it like really depends. Like if a progressive runs somewhere where a progressive isn't going to win, like obviously they're not gonna win. Like if the place is more moderate or like more like to the right, I don't think a progressive is gonna do well there. There's no surprise.
Yeah, I simply think that in some of these districts where if someone was simply being accused, like a moderate Democrat being accused of like, oh, you want to defund the police, oh, you want Medicare for all, or things like that, it would be simply a lot easier to just reply maybe yes or positively about those things.
Mouthy, if you want to argue with Mix, get on stream. You can join the VC.
Come on stream.
No, he's been no, Mouthy's being ironic. He's not being for real.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so by the way,
I simply think that it's far easier to make the case for these progressive policies and simply saying flat out no, and at the same time not galvanize any support for it.
Well, that's what I liked about Ossoff or whatever the fuck his name is. He was like, he just said no. He didn't like go like these are like dumb. He goes, I just believe we can do it this way. And I was like, that's a pretty good answer. Like that's solid. And he's running in Georgia, so it makes sense like to be more moderate. It's being realistic. It's trying to be electable. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's why I just thought it was crazy that people were giving him shit. Plus, the person he's running against is like totally fucking awful. So like,
yeah, he's like he's an always Trumper.
Yeah.
That's also one
like
thing,
editing Ossoff's nose bigger.
Yep.
Yeah, that too. That's also one thing that really confuses me. Like, if you're trying to like be a moderate to court more voters, and you're trying to like maybe convince someone who might vote for your like opponent, and your opponent is like doing shit like that, like I don't know if you can really get them by being more moderate then.
What?
Like, okay, how do I explain this?
You think that also should just come out like, fuck it, guys, we should abolish the police, vote for me.
I never said that. I said like he can maybe be more progressive in hopes of portraying himself as a more populist candidate, or trying to side with more popular like policies.
I don't care about populism
without being like outwardly like progressive.
Like if your opposition is unironically just being anti-Semitic to you, and like people are still thinking about voting for that person, I don't think there's any way you can like convince them to otherwise to vote for you.
It's not about that. It's about like winning over independents, right? Like you're never gonna expect a Republican to vote for Ossoff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're trying to like get independents to vote for you, shouldn't you like increase like enthusiasm and also like increase?
Well, I mean, like if you have an independent which is like, I don't like this Purdue guy, but I don't know, the Dems seem kind of fucking extreme. I don't like the path to socialism they're going down. I don't know. You know, it might be easier. It might be easier to win over independents if you kind of reassure them.
Congressman who's just unironically being a fucking Nazi, who's being like an anti-Semitic douchebag. Like,
yep.
What do you like?
100%, 100%, bro. I fucking bet you that there's gonna be people like, I don't know if I like the Purdue guy.
I'm scared of socialism, but this congressman making his opponent's nose bigger, I don't know. He has some pretty good ideas. Like, fuck that guy.
Wait,
like,
do you genuinely not believe people like that exist?
Yeah, people like that exist. Fuck them. Why should we go for the vote if they're
because that's how you lose elections. By
not courting anti-Semites? Like, what?
Wait. What do you mean?
I'm saying if you shouldn't be like trying to convince people who already are on the side of someone who's that far right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
shit,
that's why he's trying to get
independents.
No one like you're not gonna be able to win over a Republican who's gonna like vote Republican no matter what.
Let's say theoretically have an independent. He's like, listen, obviously that guy's probably not cool. He's probably dog whistling here, but I'm just kind of scared that if I vote for the Democrats, they're gonna fucking like lead America down socialism. You know, so maybe also the best thing he can do is like reassure independents. Listen, I'm not gonna be like
fuck
super
you,
fucking
SDL, you piece of shit, isocrapic. Get the fuck
and
out of here.
I would say it's on to Ossoff to make the case
socialism done lame
through those policies, and also to get enthusiasm for those policies in those districts. It's up to him to do that.
Have you ever ratioed yourself by complimenting people? I put out a tweet where I said I would. So basically, I put out a tweet where I said I would compliment anyone who replied, and legit, I got ratioed on that. Like legit, 16 to 8, like 16 replies, like 8 likes and retweets.
SDL, I've never played fucking TF2. I can't fucking win this game right now. It fucking like sucks.
I was gonna try to say it earlier, but then you guys.
But no, I just saying like also.
I'm playing as Jet.
Like,
I'm better with Cypher.
For those policies, and could make them very popular with those people. like saying like, hey, we just want
motherfucker.
We just want a social democracy. Hey, we just want to do what Scandinavia and a lot of European countries have done. Hey, we just want to do what our neighbors to the north have also done. We're not asking for socialism. We just want Medicare for all. Hey, we just want to.
I mean, to be fair, Medicare for all is kind of to the left than all the countries that you just mentioned.
Yeah, Medicare for all is far more to the left than like Scandinavian countries.
Although that's like not a first term thing either. I would say that's like something you do. Like you get in first, and I feel like at the time you just need to get in. Like,
but no, you're just trying to make the case for like universal health care to them and slowly like get them on the idea of like Medicare for all. That's all you're trying to do to these people.
Yeah, but you only. Yeah, but that's not how you win elections, though. Yeah. Like that sounds more like political.
Okay, how do you win elections then? Like, what do you do?
By trying to appeal to the largest base possible, and you can't do that by first getting everyone to believe in universal health care and then getting them to believe in Medicare for all. You got to appeal to like, first of all, you already have your base, you already have the Democratic base, and you got to appeal to more moderate independents or like left-leaning or center-right-leaning moderates, you know. But like that's just how you win elections, and I think it's really hard to do that.
You can extend the base that you have by proposing very popular policies that can easily be sold to them, and also galvanize enthusiasm for those policies, and have a large voter turnout based on those policies to vote for you.
It just seems like most of those like popular programs tend to be incredibly popular with like specifically younger people that just don't go out to vote.
Like, I mean, these policies are like overwhelmingly popular around the entire.
Well, I mean, Medicare for all.
The average American, like overwhelmingly, like I think like 50 or 60% like approves of these policies.
Yeah, but you have to realize like the average American isn't like representative, like the average Georgian voter, right? You gotta like first look at like.
I mean, Mississippi, like Mississippi, almost 70% approve of Medicare for all. Like, then when the primaries, like, if Mississippi is like that high, I don't think Georgia's any lower.
Okay, but then why? But if Medicare for all is so popular, then why do Republicans keep winning? Do you think the Democratic Party are just like, yo, guys, we just forgot to say we support Medicare for all? That's why we keep losing in the South, guys. Why didn't we think of this?
No, basically.
No, the reason why they keep losing is because they won't allow pet employment. It's the most popular policy. Okay, this is why whenever I run for president, I'm gonna allow pets to be employed.
Bro, if you ever run for president, I'm gonna kill your fucking presidential pets.
Oftentimes is A, voter suppression. That's a major like thing. B, the reason also because of like play on like race politics.
There's also just a lot of people not voting. Like not even like just voter suppression. People just don't fucking vote.
That too, you can easily like win elections if you got more people to vote for you. If not only did you get more people to vote, but get those people to vote for you would like easily help.
Wait, did you say we win elections by getting people to vote for you?
Yeah.
Whoa! Whoa! Wait!
Dude, what you're saying isn't. What you're saying isn't wrong. You're just like that's like that's like the hardest thing to do. You know, it's like, guys, winning the election isn't hard. You just gotta get people to vote for you.
We just have to get more than the vote, forehead. Come on.
Come on.
Shit. Wait, Bernie Sanders must have not figured that one out. We need to let him know. Fucking shit.
New idea. Go outside and talk to people and raise them to vote. Boom. Another revolutionary concept no one has ever thought of.
True.
All right, guys. I'm gonna write theory on voting. Okay, don't worry about it. All right. New revolutionary theory. We're gonna call it the vote. All right. It's when you go to the polls and you fucking vote. All right. It's pretty easy.
It's like